Hello everyone. Today we're joined by Eric McHugh, co-founder of Data Inc., an AI-powered matchmaking platform trying to rethink human connection in the age of AI. Eric, I'm super happy to have you here. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, and I'm really grateful to be here. So thank you both.
Well, before we dive into like AI, dating, the future of relationships, I want to start with you and understand your background. So, if we were investors, how would you pitch to us in like 30 seconds?
Well, if you're investors, I'd have you pitch to me, to be honest. But in terms of background, I'm 32. I'm blessed to be living in California. My hobbies are chess, Muay Thai, meditation, pretty much anything under the sun. In terms of 9 to 5, I was at Snapchat, helping with their ad algorithm. Went on to be a bankruptcy consultant. Um, Basically, that was right out of college. I'm like, oh, what do I do? This pays well. It seems prestigious. At that point in time, I was really getting into cryptocurrency. That didn't align with the ethos of the consulting firm I was at. I quit that job without a plan, started going to startups in my local area, met the team of a crypto project I joined. That was being incubated at one of the top incubators in the United States. We were ideating a problem on the whiteboard for that specific company, and that problem was basically affiliate commerce. So it was like TikTok shops before TikTok shops happened. That spun off to be another startup we founded, which also got incubated. So at a young age, I was the format of an incubator is essentially floors. So like the bottom floor is like 2 to 3 people, and as you get better and better, more and more revenue, all that stuff, you move up and up and up. So at a young age, I was surrounded by many people in many different levels and many different fields, and I learned as much as I possibly could from them. So Liquid Death Water was the startup right next to us. So that happened for a while. I founded a crypto company. I went on a crypto podcast tour a while back promoting that just because that's kind of what you do. And honestly, podcasts are awesome. I went on this podcast called, I went on the podcast called The Crypto Economy. Like you guys, the host was really chill. We kept in touch via like Instagram or Reels, send each other Reels back and forth. And this AI Twitter thing started following me on X. Did you guys play Halo by chance? Uh,
We didn't.
no,
Nope.
whatever.
I didn't.
Uh, it was based off it looked like the AI from Halo. I'm like, oh, who's this? Oh, it's Mark. I'm thinking about building this AI powered matchmaker. Like, oh, that's pretty funny. Dating apps suck. This could help a lot of people. And then I've been building that ever since.
Okay, cool.
Nice. So if I understand it correctly, your first big own venture was the crypto space?
Yeah, so I joined crypto because I was always really well as a consultant. Like that was in 2017 ish. I got super into Bitcoin, and if you ever get the Bitcoin bug, you start researching like everything, listening to podcasts 24/7, reading like Andreas Antonopoulos, Saifedean, and the nice thing about a consulting gig is, well, it's like consulting is basically we are a bankruptcy consulting firm, so Fortune 500 companies going through the bankruptcy process kind of build out consultants to do their thing, which was nice for me because if you produce billable hours, you're good as a consultant, which isn't honestly the greatest incentive program, but like I was producing billable hours, but at the same time, I could listen to hours and hours of podcasts a day, just kind of doing my Excel stuff. So I really did a deep dive into Bitcoin, and obviously the ethos of the consulting firm didn't really align with the ethos of Bitcoin.
Do you think like the trend of cryptocurrency like is kind of moving backwards this past few, I mean, this year? I mean, since Donald Trump has got elected, it's been going like a bit down. Do you think like we're looking at, I don't know, the end of crypto, or do you think it's gonna like re-boom again and like, I don't know,
N-
become
I,
the new kind of currency? I'm talking about Bitcoin as a, the goal was to become like to replace the usual currencies that we're using. Do you think that's ever gonna happen, or do you think it's a dead
I,
end?
I think so, and I would say what happened is not even bad actors, just like the natural evolution of a space. So like 2017, everyone was really trying to build stuff, like get people on board.
Yeah.
2021 was DeFi, which was pretty much yield farming and stuff like that. And then after 2021, it got easier to launch a token. So like crypto's always been the Wild West, and like if you're into crypto, you've always known that there are scams, people rug pulling, all that good stuff. But I think that really after 2021, it really just took off. So everyone was scamming everyone. Lots of PvP. It was the same cabals of people pumping tokens, dumping tokens, pumping tokens, dumping tokens, and then I think that was encapsulated in Donald Trump as president. Whatever you say about him, he's on his third crypto pump and dump. So he did his Donald coin, he did his Melania coin, and then he did WLFI, which was selling tokens on the back end, so dumping on their users. So like I think he just captures what the space was kind of going to, which was honestly is how much money can I extract from the community
Yeah.
as I possibly can. And the problem with that is retail crypto kind of ran out of money. So like the pump and dumps weren't pumping, they're just straight dumping. The whole vibe was kind of annoying, but I think crypto is going to make a comeback. And I think that comeback is in large part going to be powered by AI in large part empowered by AI through agentic commerce. So I think like let's say like eventually me and you are gonna like let's say like me and you're gonna interact with agents. Like I'm like, okay, Hassan, John, they're awesome. I went on their podcast. Hey, Claude Agent, what should I buy them? What it's gonna do is be like, okay, because AI right now is basically a series of probabilities. So let's say a task takes 3 steps. It's like step one, what's the most likely to succeed? Step two, what's the most likely to succeed? Step three, what's most likely to succeed? So like when I ask my AI stuff, I'd be like, okay, who are these people? It's gonna try to figure out who you are. It's gonna purchase data or like plug into an API or do a bunch of stuff in the back end. So it's gonna make transactions. And for that AI agent to function effectively, credit cards don't really work. The normal banking system doesn't really work. Cryptocurrency really is the commerce of AI agents, and I think that's actually going to be a big part to being crypto back. So like I think as AI takes more and more over, I think crypto is going to work side by side with agents to I think increase the value of everyone's lives. And interestingly enough, I don't talk about it often just because I obviously have a dating app, and Lord knows from personal experience, never ever 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 talk about cryptocurrency with women because it's just boring. Because like we actually got grants from the Stacks Foundation, which is the Bitcoin layer 2, to build out the agentic commerce side for our dating app. So with dating, and again, like I think agents love data. So the more
Yeah.
data an agent can get, the more value it's going to be. And I think human data is going to be the best thing in the world. The problem with data is data's been monopolized by like like the Facebooks, the Googles, the Instagrams of the world, and not used to our benefits. So with our dating app, we're planning to build out a monetization model where if a user, and it's like we had the base done, but like obviously we haven't implemented or anything yet. But like if a user wants, let's say you sign up for dating and you're like, okay, great. So what dating is? It's the first AI powered matchmaker. So what we do is we auto generate dating profiles based on a user's digital footprint and conversation
Yeah.
history. So let's say you're like, okay, I'm signed for dating. I create a profile. We create a profile for you on the back end. If you want to sell your data, you'd be like, yes, I would like to sell my data. Then when an agent purchases the data on the data marketplace, you get paid instantaneously in a cryptocurrency transaction. And if you don't want to sell your data, you just click no, and then none of your data gets sold. And I think it's important to note, since we're talking about data, if a user for dating deletes their account, all the data is wiped. It's not like stored anywhere. Everything is completely wiped.
Yeah. Okay, that's very interesting. So obviously we switched from crypto to dating because you're building your dating app, and it's very interesting to understand what fascinated you about relationships and starting a dating site.
So honestly, it was very serendipitous. So like I'm a believer. I think my next move is whatever excites me most, and I just kind of follow the path of most excitement. And when like I saw this AI dating thing, I'm like, okay, this is super interesting. I've been on dating apps for a while. I know they kind of suck. I know their incentives aren't in my best interest. Like for example, like if well in America most apps are owned by Match.com, so they have somewhat of a
Yeah,
monopoly. But like if someone matches on Tinder or Hinge or whatever, they match, they leave the app. That results in the loss of a paying customer for that app. So that's why they rely on shared marketing. So it's keeping people on that Ferris wheel. So if you ever hear about someone saying like I delete the app, down the app, delete the app, down the app,
right.
then it's all by design. Whereas I think AI had this, and again, like many people had this idea earlier, like, oh, maybe AI matchmaking or maybe human matchmakers could work.
Mm.
But we were the first to implemented natively after ChatGPT. And so what dating, like what AI is really good at is data analysis and pattern recognition at scale. So what happens is like, let's say I create an account and analyzes my social media, picks some photos, and it generates tags on the back end. So like, for example, we were talking about Muay Thai, but like, okay, zero point 0.9 correlation into Muay Thai, zero point 0.6 into Barcelona food, zero point 0.8 into travel, and it'll give a reason for that. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's what auto generates the dating profile for the user and then generates matches. So like, for example, I'm into Muay Thai, it could generate a match with someone who's into a girl who's into yoga because those are highly correlated, and it'll generate a match and like, okay, Eric and Jane, here's a match, and then it can tell me more about Jane. And that's a pretty obvious example because like yoga and physical fitness is kind of a thing. But like, let's say across the system, it finds out that people who are really into Muay Thai match for whatever reason with people who are really into video games. That's not something that I would see, but that's something that the AI can pick up and adjust as it goes along. So the cool thing about our app is like it's always learning about me. So like
Yeah.
the more I chat with it, the more I tell it because like my preferences in women are changing. It's picking up on me, it's adjusting my profile based on me. So the longer I'm on the app, the more likely I am to find a match. So the more it learns about me, great. But it's also taking a collective as a whole. So the more it learns about the three of you, it's analyzing all the data between the three of us and finding commonalities and differences and all that stuff and that's feeding into its matchmaking algorithm.
If we look
Eric,
at it,
go
sorry,
ahead.
if we look at it from like a technological standpoint, so you'd use basically like LLMs to understand myself based on the pictures and the conversations, and then you basically build your own algorithm on top of that that basically matches the people, right?
Yeah, so we
Or
the way I put it is we shovel as many data points as we possibly can on a user through an LLM. It sorts it, does the matching, and then the cool thing is this makes our incentives good too. So like most AI dating apps or even apps right now, I mean, they're great. I think they're whatever chill. They're really just like glorified Google Forms in the sense of like, okay, you're filling out a form, you're filling out a survey. This could be in the form of like a cool website, a voice talking to an AI, but in reality, it's just taking, it's basically a Google form. And that's something I could have honestly whipped up, just vibe coded my way to that. Whereas with dating, we analyze like your different social media profiles, your conversation history to generate that rich profile. Because to better match someone, you need to understand the user at first. And this is where our incentives are different than the normal dating apps. Like Hinge, for example, let's say they match, those people should theoretically leave the app. And then that results in a loss of two paying customers from Match.com. But we're designed to support before and after the match. So like, let's say I match with, let's say like I'm seeing my profile as I'm scrolling. It's like, okay, Ashley seems cool. It gives me a generated profile. I can ask Cupid, okay, why do you think we match? What red flags should we avoid? What green flags should we avoid? What movie should we watch? Where should we eat? All that good stuff. And then let's say we go on that date. It can offer, after the date happens, it knows both of us and they can offer relationship support. So I'd be like, okay, you guys are having this, like, Cupid, me and Ashley having this fight. This is what's happening. What do you think's happening? Oh, our anniversary's coming up. Where should we get dinner? Oh, we're eating with our friends. What should we do? It's like, oh, do you have any fun suggestions? Like we're visiting Barcelona for the first time. Do you have any fun suggestions in the city? And what's important about Cupid is it also avoids AI psychosis, which I'm sure you guys are aware of. Like, you know what AI psychosis is, where people are just listening to their LLMs, and it's like, example I like to cite is there's some like random middle-aged dude and is like talking with ChatGPT or Claude or something, and it's like, hey man, you should really totally try out for like the Masters or some professional sports tournament, and it had no shot, but it just kept feeding its ego. So the problem with like, and I know people are asking like ChatGPT and stuff for advice on various topics, and I think that's cool. But the problem with that is like, let's say I were to ask ChatGPT, hey, ChatGPT, where should me and Ashley go for dinner? It's going to give me an answer based on what I think I would like. So it's like, you guys should go here. And I'm like, wait, ChatGPT, that answer is awesome. Well, of course it's awesome because it's really just my answer reflected back to me. Whereas with dating, it takes context from both users and then uses that to generate the answers.
Okay.
I have one big question, like in terms of like ethically or morally, like because you're a business, right? And you
Yes.
want basically customers to stay with you. But the whole point of dating is that they find their mate for the future. what is your goal? Is it to find that one soulmate? Um, I feel like there's a business side behind it as well, right?
Yes. So our goal is to help the customer find whatever they're looking for. So whether that be a polyamorous relationship, a fling, a soulmate, we want to match people up and put them in the best position to succeed to find their person. So like my personal state, my personal take on the dating apps is I think that there are many ways to meet a soulmate. Me personally, I like to meet people in real life because I can pick up on their vibe. But if people are going to use dating apps, they might as well try an app that puts them in the best position to succeed. So what we try to do is we try to use our data points and learn about the users to generate that match with the goal of actually getting them on that real life date. And then from there, they go on the date, they vibe well, they don't. It's up to them that learns from that interaction. And let's say that it is their soulmate. Great. It follows them through the relationship. They can ask questions. It's like, hey, her birthday's coming up. You always miss this. Her favorite she started listening to this band on Apple Music or just added this thing to her Pinterest board. This could be a good gift. So it can offer support like that. But if let's say it's not your soulmate, it learns from your interaction. You can tell Cupid what it liked, what it didn't like, how your experience was with this one person, and then that'll adjust your profile, thus increasing the chances of you finding your soulmate if that's what you're looking for on the app going forward. And in terms of monetization and business ethics, the dating app space is honestly very like it's not very ethical. I think we want to our important thing is like so we haven't taken VC funding. We're completely bootstrapped, and that allows us to align with our incentives with our users' incentives. So our long-term monetization model is opt-in ads and opt-in commission. So it's opt-in ads and offers. So let's say you want to get fed ads through like from a company, you get paid for those ads. And on top of that, we are building out our system so you can plan dates and then schedule dates within app. So then we're incentivized to get people on that date. So like it's going to be commissions based on dates as well as opt-in ads and offers.
Okay. So Eric, one of my questions was, that's very interesting. But I want to know, like, if I use your dating app, uh, do I find only profiles from your dating app, or do I have access to, I don't know, like people from my network, LinkedIn, Instagram, or like just random people that you can suggest to me?
So in terms of your question, only profiles with the dating app. So we're in a bit of a transition period. So we're about to launch our V2. We launched V1. That was somewhat of like a closed beta. We're obviously calling it closed beta or MVP or something, but that was a big
Yeah.
learning experience. We learned what users wanted, what they don't like, and then we're launching V2, which is a much scalable version. It's honestly better in every way. It's built by a team of actual engineers using AI versus just kind of vibe coding features to see product market fit. So with that, you have your Cupid chat. So Cupid will suggest, like, think of like a ChatGPT type interface. Obviously, much cuter and just like brighter and just not just very technical, but like that's where you can chat with Cupid. It's going to make suggestions. Then you can ask questions about the potential matches. You can say next, pass. You can tell Cupid what you're looking for, and that's what's going to adjust the backtracking algorithm. There's also a discover feature, so you can see other users on the app too. So it's like, okay, here's this is your curated Cupid list, but here's other people on the platform you may find interesting, as well as like a numerical score based on how well we think you guys would match. So it doesn't show you like
Yeah.
it won't show me like TikTok followers or anything like that. But we are building out so
Yeah.
in someone's profile, like within their profile, so the profiles are auto generated to kind of keep people honest. So like people just kind of lie on their dating profiles. So they're auto generated. We're thinking of building out like a live social feed. So like if you want your TikTok or tweets or YouTube history to be shown within the app, it can be part of your profile to give the other user a better idea of what you're into.
I guess, Eric, my question was more, I mean, it was related to this, but I wanted to understand the market is very crowded. There are like Tinder, Hinge, Bumble, like a bunch of other dating apps. So, in terms of marketing, in terms of getting people on the app, because in the end, what you're doing is marketplace where you match, I mean, partners together, or people together. So, how do you plan on getting these network effects in your app?
Yeah, so honestly, everyone thinks the marketplace is very crowded. I don't think it's honest. I don't think the market is that crowded. Yes, people are spinning up apps every single day, but the problem with that is people are spinning up apps, but they're much more likely to quit making the app every single day. In terms of the big players, like Hinge is, I would say Hinge is the best dating app in the marketplace. That's owned by Match.com. Match.com also owns Tinder, OkCupid, and a bunch of other apps. So it may seem like it's a diverse set of apps, but it's really just one big company. In terms of marketing and how we're getting our product market fit, a big thing. So we're the longest running AI native matchmaker. And so we're around since 2023. And the problem we were facing with 2023 is honestly, people just weren't ready for AI matchmaking or any, like people are less accustomed to AI. So like we had offers to raise money, to do some raises, to do some marketing around that point in time. But we said no because like when you raise, you're just like, okay, let's say you want $10 million at $100 million valuation or whatever. It's like, they're like, okay, what do you need that $10 million for? And then you have to budget it out. Like, okay, do X, Y, and Z with the money. And a lot of times, most funds want to see rapid growth, and that results in just like marketing, overspending on money, spending too much money to acquire users. So the way I look at other apps is we heads down focus on technology and making our app the most valuable for our users through being able to understand the user better than any other app because of all the different data points we absorb. So the way I look is those other apps are marketing for us and part of our go-to-market plan as a bootstrap startup. So like in the United States, so there's a couple other big players. Like I would say there's two other competitors who raised earlier. They're spending tons of money on marketing. They're doing that whole stuff. But then we're seeing their users try our app too. And since our app functions better to them, they stick with our app. So like, and of course we have our local communities that we're going to hit up too, like city by city.
Do you think uh, do you think in the future AI is going to be so much better at matching than actually humans finding themselves?
That's actually a pretty interesting subject because we are working with matchmakers to facilitate the matches. So like a lot of them, so some matchmakers are using our, like we have an internal matchmaker who we're working with, and she's using our system to learn about the user and then match within her own community. But I think long term, may, I don't know. It's hard. It's definitely more scalable, but I think it'll be roughly equivalent. And like I mentioned earlier, AI can pick up stuff people would miss. So like I'm wearing a black shirt. Let's say there's an extremely high correlation of people who wear black shirts and people and girls who like to eat Mexican food. Like who knows that's correlation? But like that's something a human would miss, but that's something AI can pick up and then test out. So I was like, okay, for whatever reason, there's a zero point 0.7 correlation between black shirts and Mexican food. Let's try to put some other matches and then it can learn off of it. So long term, I think it's going to get better and better at matching the user. And then and back into your competition question. So we understand our users better than any other app as well as we can. So we're building our API. So that's going to launch soon. We already have some interesting partners who are decided to build out. One's like a gaming matchmaking thing. One's an actual matchmaker app. One's like a rave thing where you find your closest rave buddy who you get along with. So in terms of competition, I suspect that other people are going to build on top of our API. So it's not really competition, it's really just building together. So like let's say someone wants to build a Christian app, someone wants to build like a Muslim app, someone wants to build like a foodie dating app. They can use our matchmaking algorithm and our customization and personalization to build on top of the dating ecosystem, generate a win for everyone.
Very interesting. So you integrate, yeah, you integrate your API into other competitors' frameworks as well. They can build on top of what you're doing. I actually had the question. Okay, so basically, I know that the founder of Tinder has been cheated on by his wife with a guy that she met on Tinder.
I don't know that. That's,
How do you feel about that?
I mean, honestly, that sucks for the guy. Like, like I don't know. Like, that probably wasn't the best fit to begin with, and he's probably better off with someone who's willing to cheat on him. But that's unfortunate. That's probably very,
That's unfortunate. No?
yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. It probably happened after
Okay.
they got bit. They probably had. I'm sure the divorce wasn't fun. Because like I come from parents who are divorced. Like, yeah, divorce is never fun. So I hope things work out for him, and I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, to be fair,
okay.
like I mean, Tinder and Match have generated hookup culture because of the swipe. Like it's a system where like the top 10% of guys get access to pretty much everyone on the app. So it does encourage cheating and hooking up. So I mean, you need to kind of build a system, but still, I felt that sucks for the guy. It's also his fault, but if she were super interested in you, she would not be cheating on you. That's for sure. If a girl is super interested in you, they're not even looking at other guys. Like a guy will approach her and she's like, "Ugh, get away from me," and that's who you should be dating.
Okay, let's go back to the business side. How do you, as a founder, how do you deal with all this uncertainty in the market and, well, with building a company from scratch, um, especially with regards to us having listeners who are interested in founding their own company?
Oh, I thrive in uncertainty. I view the unknown as the gateway to my next level up. I believe in a God. I believe in a creator, and I think that everything is happening for my benefit for that. So, like, I think God has a plan for me. I'm too small, too insignificant to understand that plan, but they understand the plan. So, living in this uncertainty helps me just kind of follow my natural instinct. And so, what I generally do is I just do what excites me most, and then that leads me down. That leads me through the uncertainty. So uncertainty is a growth period. It's where you're like hardening up. It's where you're leveling up, and then you'll level up, and then you'll enter the next level, and then you'll have to ball the next level and to climb up. But yeah, there's gonna be uncertainty. You need a good mindset. Honestly, a positive mindset. It's super cliche, but it goes a really long way. And don't rush things too. Don't ever rush things. That never works.
Eric, I wanted to get your take on something. So, I've seen many people now falling in love with an AI. What do you think about that?
I don't judge anyone. Like I think if you want to fall in love, that's with an AI. You do you, man. But at the same time, I think that's a symptom of the loneliness that a lot of people are feeling. And I think if you want to have match with another human, I think that's going to be better than falling in love with an AI, also, obviously. And there are plenty of ways to do that. One of which is the solution we're building.
Interesting. Like I had a debate with many of my friends about the future of relationships, and I was asking them. Well, I'm not gonna cite name, obviously, but would you rather, have the a robot that looks like the perfect wife that you envisioned, and that knows exactly how you should, like how she should, how it should react to your own reactions and everything, and have like kind of a real human experience with the robot? Or would you rather have a partner that you would share, like, emotions and everything with, but that might be a bit harder to manage? And the answers varied a lot. And that's why, like, do you think we're heading towards a future where robots are gonna share our lives? Or do you think that's just a dystopia, like totally dystopic future that we're never gonna reach?
So I actually have a really positive outlook on the world. I think things are getting better and better. So I view everything in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. So like I think the collective frequency of humans is raising despite what's being pushed on social media. So like it's a scale from 0 to 1,000 with a lower vibrations like fear, despair, shame, anger. And then those stated frequencies people are more likely to be controlled. So that's why if you're ever wondering why like social media is always pushing fear, pushing hate, it's because if you keep people in that state, you can control them and make them act in ways they wouldn't normally act. And I think AI and cryptocurrency and the combination are going to guide us to a better future. Like for example, the crypto aspect, like if I wanted to get rich in America without doing anything, how would I do that? I would plant myself right next to the money printer and extract as much money as I possibly could and give that to my friends. And that's possible with a fiat-based system. But let's say, and I do want to get rich. I think money is neutral. I think if you make money in good ways, fantastic. If you make money in bad ways, karma gets back to bite you. But if I want to make as much Bitcoin as I possibly can, because I want your Bitcoin, like I want Jan's Bitcoin, I want Hassan's Bitcoin. If I wanted your Bitcoin, I can't just place myself next to a money printer and just take it from you. I would have to produce something of value for both of you, and then you would voluntarily send me your Bitcoin. So now the incentives are better. So now if I want to make as much money as possible, I have to produce as much value for as many people as possible, making me rich, which is good for me and good for the people I've helped. And I think AI enables me to actually do that. Like I'm Filipino, so like let's say 50 years ago I was born in the slums in the Philippines. Like realistically, that's probably where I'm going to end up. But with AI, now I can whip up a website, I can try an e-commerce business, I can try a bunch of different things to produce value for people at scale, as accessing that global network that cryptocurrency provides. And then, especially with agentic payments, now my agents can be paid in cryptocurrency. And if people are more focused, and this is a long-winded answer to loop back to what you're doing, I think if people are focused on doing what they love and what really excites them, rather than just like a soul-sucking 9 to 5 or something that they hate, if they're in that energy of authenticity and creativity, that's how you attract the right partner. Because if I'm being my authentic self, I'm very likely to attract the partner who actually fits me, which is much better than a relationship with a soulless AI. So I think AI is really good, and obviously I'm creating an AI thingy, but like I think AI is great at data recognition, pattern analysis. It can learn a lot. It's a amazing technology. I don't think AI can copy human consciousness. So to answer your question about would you rather date a robot of the perfect wife or the human of the perfect wife, I would choose the human of every. I would choose the human every single time because I think everything has like a soul. It's like even if you can like subconsciously pick it up, like you look at like a beautiful painting, a beautiful building, you're like you can tell that person put in work for that thing, and the same applies for technology. The same applies for humans, where it's like if it's mass produced, it's like I don't care, but like I don't know. Plus, like you don't even know what you want. So it's like imagine you want the perfect life. It's like yeah, you want the perfect life. Imagine a life with no challenges. There's no growth that's happening there, and the same applies for your partners. Like the closest I found that the closest people to me, they trigger me the most and they trigger me the deepest. And in those triggerings, those are lessons that I need to learn that the creator placed them in my general circle to trigger those lessons. And if I learn those lessons, great. I learned those lessons. I kind of level up a bit. Things get better and better for me. But if I don't learn those lessons, they just keep repeating in different forms until you do learn the lesson. And I don't think you're going to get that from an AI. I think you need a human for that.
Eric,
But,
that was the perfect wrap up for this episode. Um,
goodness.
we have at the end of our show always a little section where we shoot three quick questions at you, and you shoot right back with the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's rock and roll.
So what are three tips to have for the perfect dating site profile?
Be authentic. Don't lie. Don't be creepy.
Okay. What's the best first date idea?
I like something short and small. It shouldn't be a big dinner. It should be like, I like dessert.
Okay. Perfect. And how do you mix the dating life with your entrepreneurship life?
They aren't separate at all. They're together.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you very much, Eric, for being on our show today. We thank you for sharing all your insights. Um,
Yeah, thanks, thanks, Jan. Thanks, Eric, for the episode today. I really think that conversations like this matter because AI is moving super fast, but conversations around human connections and relationships are even more important now to set the tone for everything. So that's why I asked you all these weird questions. But
Oh,
just to finish up the episode, we're gonna share all the links related to dataing and to all Eric's profile, LinkedIn, and any other social media, so that you can check him up and what he's building. And yeah, talk to you soon and see you in the next episode. Thanks.
ciao.